Good morning, afternoon, or evening, as the case may be, in your part of the world. This video is a response to Renetto's video about responsibility. And certainly I am not someone who has, thousands of fans. I have gained a little bit of notoriety here on YouTube, and I'm not exactly sure why. I say these kinds of things that people should know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I give them a reminder. But Renetto, Paul, I'm going to be honest with you here. As you know, if you watch my videos, I try to be. It is a hard question to ask yourself about what are your responsibilities to the YouTube community, or to any community as far as that goes, when it comes to the things that you do. The things that you say, the things that you do, the way that you act in public, and this is a public place. These are my views on it. I'm sure there will be some who have their own views, and of course I'd like to hear all views. I don't think that you can get to the truth unless you hear all sides, at least hear them out. And hopefully, however passionate you can be with it, those people who will respond intelligently. So, what are your responsibilities to the YouTube community? Well, I think as the same responsibility you have if you're walking the streets, or if you have a child that looks up to you. If you've gained any notoriety at all, you have a responsibility both to the community and to yourself and to others to not do stuff that will put them in danger's way. Now, there are a lot of people out there, even on national television and putting out DVDs and movies, that ignore that. And one of the good places to point to is Jackass the movie and that kind of stuff. I mean, those guys do some insane things, and yeah, they put a little disclaimer at the beginning and stuff. And but we know. When we're watching television, we know that there's that Standards and Practices is watching this, that the FCC is watching it, and although they may be pushing the limits, they're not crossing the lines, and sometimes that's hard to believe. You got guys stapling stuff to their own bodies, and hopefully there will not be children who will, or youngsters or teenagers who will do the same thing because they saw it on television and thought it was cool. Unfortunately, being intelligent human beings, we know that that's not true. There are a lot of people who aren't going to get the humor. There are a lot of people who aren't going to see that what you're doing is just for fun, and you're just kidding. We've all seen the Mentos and Coke videos out here. It stands to reason that the end result could actually be what you depicted in your video, Paul. And I don't know if that'll happen or not. And I'm thinking, if it is something that happens, what kind of, look at the comments of your own video. There are people going, that was cool, I'm going to try it. And I think you have a certain responsibility not to put those people in danger's way. I know you put a disclaimer up, but you know that people don't read disclaimers. The disclaimer is only good to protect your ass when somebody gets hurt. And I think as someone who has notoriety out here, you have a certain responsibility to try to at least limit the chances of that happening. So, Paul, I love you. I mean, I watch your stuff all the time. But I thought it was an irresponsible thing to do. The same thing with blowing the can off. I mean, yeah, it's a cool, it's a cool science experiment that might be, better done in a classroom with a supervision of a teacher and fire extinguishers available. But there are going to be kids that are and young adults who are going to get foil and put it in a bottle and put toilet cleaner in there just to watch it blow up, and sooner or later somebody's going to get hurt. And I think you have a responsibility not to help that happen more often. And it's not just that. It's the haters as we know them out here. There's responsibility for the words that you say, and especially if you have people that look up to you. And YouTube is a brand new place. There's no standards or practices here at YouTube in whatever feeble attempt they make to try to do what's right by the YouTube community are very limited. to say the least. So, as a YouTube, just as a YouTube user, not even as a YouTube celebrity, but as a YouTube user, you have a responsibility not to do things that might put your viewership in danger. And some people out here do not have the mental capacity to know the difference between the humor and the truth. And if you are someone who does, then I think it's your responsibility to set an example and not do things that might put your viewers in danger. And I think you have, if you're going to pull that kind of a joke, somewhere on your video, since that's the way that they're seeing it, you should say, this was all put on, no dolphins were hurt during the processing of this video or whatever. But I do think you have a responsibility, and because you don't have standards and practices or the FCC looking down your neck, I think you have a greater responsibility. That's just the way I see it. It is a brand new field, and we're going to see a lot of crazy stuff. We see kids putting up videos of beating one another up, and they're real beatings, and that stuff shouldn't be happening on here. And I'm not one for censorship. I think everybody should be heard. I think all angles to any story should be heard. But I think if you have a viewership, or even if it's 5 or 10 of your friends, you have a responsibility to them to not potentially put them in danger in any way. At least make some attempt not to, and there are some people out here that aren't going to get it, and so if you're going to do a joke like that, put a comment in there at least and say, just kidding, kids. And I think that's your responsibility, not only to the YouTube community, but to your viewership. I think if you don't take care of them, sooner or later, you're going to stop doing videos because somebody might get hurt, and you'll be directly responsible. And if you're financially responsible or not is irrelevant. So, if you appreciate the people that are watching you, if you have 2 people watching you and your friends, or you have, 8,000 or 10,000, whatever it is, I think you have a responsibility to be honest, as you can be, with your viewership, and to not put them in danger. So I hadn't even planned on doing another video today, but I thought I should answer this. So, Paul, I love your stuff. I hope you keep doing what you're doing, and I'm going to keep watching. I respect you, completely respect you. And I understand that some of the stuff you have to wrestle with. This is new territory for a lot of us, I'm already dealing with privacy issues and how do I get my time back for the time that I put in here. But at any rate, I'm rambling now. I think especially if you're someone who has become known on YouTube, and if you are someone who is looked up to on YouTube, even if you're not, you have a responsibility to think about the videos you put out before you put them out, and how they might be misinterpreted, and how others may be hurt by your actions. So that's all I have for this time. Until next time, you be well, and Paul, I'll be watching.